Thanks for joining us for today's edition, our weekday radio show, Elko Live. I'm your host, Lori Gilbert, in studio, and today in for the city of Elko, we have Annette Kerr, and she's Executive Director of the newly branded E-Center. Welcome, Annette.
Thank you. Thank you so much, and I appreciate that. For those of you who don't know, the E-Center, it's actually was formerly the Convention Center, but moving on with the times and our rebranding, we're now going with the E-Center. And the E stands for everything, basically, but it's the Elko Event Center. We're the official event center. It's trademarked with the state, so but that's what we do. That's what we've been tasked with. So we're doing events as well as conventions, meetings, and more.
And of course, coming off the heels of the beautiful celebration that you had of 50 years of the Elko Convention Center, on to the new.
That is correct. We had a great turnout. Over 100 people showed up to help us celebrate 50 years from 1975 when they first started construction. So it's hard to believe that building's 50 years old.
And hard to believe that, well, at that time when they constructed it, it was for a staggering sum of, what, some 2.7 or something?
Yeah, about 2.7 million. And now the new building, well, we call it the new, even though it's 10 years old now, was at 13 million.
Yes, so we have a lot to take good care of. We are all stewards of our E-Center. It is a public facility, and it is the official visitors authority for Elko area. That's important to note.
That is correct. So by the Nevada statute, we were convened as the the Elko Convention and Visitors Authority. First, we were the civil center, and then they also went with the statute and said we're the official Visitors Authority.
Yep, so that means we are connected with these similar efforts statewide, a part of a lot of tourism that's going on statewide as well, museums, certainly, fulfilling some of the lieutenant governor's ambitions.
Correct. So we have two missions basically with our facilities and our goals, and that is, one is that to promote tourism to the community and to our district. A lot of people don't realize that we're our own government entity. We report to the state, not to the city or the county in a sense, so we have to follow all of those same rules that they do, but our district is pretty much almost 2/3 of Elko County. We go from the Nevada-Idaho border down to the White Pine and Elko County line, from the Humboldt and Eureka County line to Highway 93. So all of that area in there is our job to promote for tourism. But then again, we're also tasked with being why we are the E-Center, and that's Explore Elko side of things. The second one is the E-Center, and that's our events and being there for the community. So being here for the people that live here. So bring in tourism so that we see those tax dollars come in, and those room tax dollars and sales tax dollars, but we're here to help with the community as well.
Yeah, I've been able to attend a couple of amazing events. A surprise birthday party, in fact, was one of those events that was at the Elko Conference Center, a big 60th party. He walked in thinking he was singing for somebody else, and it was his own party. That was great. And congratulations to the ECVA staff who pulled off, along with Great Basin College, the commencement that was held over the weekend.
It was great, a great collaboration, and unfortunately the weather wasn't cooperating with either of us, but we were able to get the commencement ceremonies in. Unfortunately, we had to split it, but that's because Great Basin College is just growing. They're doing a wonderful, phenomenal job with their students, and that many graduates, I believe it was over 200 graduates, maybe I think it was 219, or maybe I've got it 290, something like that, but they had a tremendous graduating class, and I wish them the best, and congratulations.
Yeah, very exciting, and a great use of our public space there at the Elko, now branded E-Center, and the nearby, it's in the same quad there, the Elko Conference Center. Correct. So the next big event that's coming up, let's spend some time talking about Elko Mining Expo, if you'd like to.
Sure. A lot of people who've lived here for a long time know about the Expo. It's the Elko Mining Expo, the 2025. It's our 39th annual event, and actually it would have been our 40th if COVID hadn't have stuck in there for 1 year. So, we're the 39th annual Mining Expo, which is always good for our town and our sales tax dollars. So on Thursday, June 5th, from 9 to 5, is basically the industry professional day. That's when we'd like to see all of those industries come out and take advantage of what good deals some of these people are bringing in as well with some of their equipment. I know that over the past years, Empire, Cashman, Komatsu, a lot of them have done a really good job in doing some purchases from vendors, and so that helps out everybody. And then on Friday, it's more of the community day. So those are the two main days, but the golf tournament's going to take place on June 2nd and June 3rd at our golf course. It's a popular event. It's sold out in 34 minutes. So it's a 2 days, 4 rounds event, and so we're excited about that. This year we've increased the prizes to be more of like big screen TVs and equipment and tools and different things, a lot larger prizes in that tournament. So additionally, we have the opening ceremony. Reception is sponsored by LeBaire USA, and it'll take place on Wednesday. It is also sold out, so I'm sorry there's no more tickets, but we're really appreciative of LeBaire being one of our main premier sponsors, as well as Epiroc. And without those people, it would be very difficult to put on such a large event, and so we're really excited about that. Let's see. On Thursday, June 5th at 9:30, we are excited about our keynote discussion that takes place. This is something new that we introduced a couple of years ago when I started in 2022, was starting to do some breakout sessions, just as a very typical expo or conference or conventions would have, or these breakout and training sessions. And so our keynote discussion will take place in the theater, and the representatives from Epiroc, EnviroSuite, LeBaire USA, Komatsu, Empire Cat, and Sandvik will join us and join the Nevada Mining Association President Amanda Hilton to discuss driving change and transformation in mining equipment. And with AI coming on board, this is a huge topic with a lot of this big machinery. They'll be talking about, jobs. Does AI take over jobs? Are these self-driving vehicles? What's happening with all of this new stuff? So they're calling driving change. And we invite anybody to come in and listen to that panel discussion. It's pretty interesting to find out what's happening in our future.
Yeah, those are really informative sessions that you host, and it's a great thing that you included them, because the Mining Expo itself is known as this venue. It's for suppliers, to meet buyers and end users. The exhibitors come from literally all over the world, but then it's also for people who are curious about this largest industry in, right here in our community, but with the richest gold reserves in North America. So you get some firsthand information.
They do, and they get a lot of contacts so that, and for the vendor side, how do they get their foot in the door? How do they become a registered vendor with the mines for purchases and sales, et cetera? So it's a good opportunity both ways. It's a win-win. Our community, as I said, will be on Friday. You can come any day, but we're trying to do Industrial Professional Day on Thursday, and then Friday bringing it for the community. It's kind of interesting, though. We have 376 exhibitors, but they will occupy 455 booth spaces. So it's huge this year. We've got a lot of people returning. We'll have the food trucks there, Tacos La Brisa, the Korean Balance, Ruby Mountain Hot Dog, Iron Pig, and Oli on site for food. Komatsu will have the dunk tank, so if you want to see your dad or mom or brother get dunked a little bit, so come on out, and they'll be in the center area, as they always have been. I think they've been there since pretty much the beginning of time. Komatsu takes that center circle, that center area there, so want to bring them out. We'll have the 777 haul truck will be on site in the back lot, and we'll have a diesel tractor and an Apex 65 rig coming out this year for the event. So a lot of things going on, including the drones are going to be flying from Empire Cat booth on Thursday, June 5th at 10 a.m., 1 and 3, as well as on Friday at 6. So you can see some of the drones that the mines are now using as well.
So you're talking about a lot of amazing technology all in one place, too.
Exactly. And it's exciting to see all the changes and the differences. And AI is going to play a huge part, as well as, like I said, the drones and the new technology. So it's exciting.
And they still need skilled workers, obviously, to perform this. So you're going to hear a lot about that.
We have new hires training going on right now. So.
Yes, exactly.
Yes.
So rest assured, robots are not going to be extracting the richest gold reserves in North America. They'll play a part, but yeah.
Exactly. So one of the things that we've done, we always do a survey at the end of the expo, and people were worried about parking. So this year, we will have shuttle running from the fairgrounds, and there will be signage at the fairgrounds for parking, and then we'll be running an independent shuttle service running back and forth. So if you're interested in don't want to park and walk a long ways, go over to the fairgrounds, and that shuttle will continually go back and forth. So I think that's something new that's going to be helpful. We'll have those technical sessions will take place on Thursday and Friday. And you can look at the schedules if you go to exploreelko.com and just look under Mining Expo and see what the whole schedule is all about.
Well, fantastic. It's coming right up. Again, the dates for the 2025 39th Annual Elko Mining Expo. You can find it all online at exploreelko.com. But again, it all opens up beginning Monday, June 2nd, and it's an entire week right through Friday with those Thursday, Friday sort of public and industry days to see the exhibits. It's a huge boost to the local economy in it.
It is. It fills up the hotels. They go to the restaurants. They'll buy gas. They buy food. So it does help with our sales tax as well as our room tax. And it's towards the end of our fiscal year, so it's definitely a huge impact all around.
And Fly Elko. It's also taking advantage of those midday flights.
It is. The midday flights, just to give that a little bit of a plug, started May 8th. And it started out a little slow, anywhere from, I think, 6 to 8 passengers on a couple of those days. But now it's really filling up. And it's really exciting because I'm hearing people talk about the fact that, well, I would have drove to Salt Lake to fly out, but because of the midday flight, I was able to go in and out and still make my connecting flights. So, yes, they're picking up to where it's a great opportunity to get in and out by noon.
Delta.com, Fly Elko. Take advantage of that midday flight now. It is for just, I think, 3-4 days a week, but these are key travel days, and you can make those important connections. And at the same time, our legislation's advancing, fingers crossed, in the session. I mean, yeah.
I haven't had a chance yet to take a look at what made it out of committee on Friday night, but I'm hoping there's a few of those that did come out.
Annette is a key player, too, in the Flight Alliance, Northeastern Nevada, and all the efforts to diversify, of course, our local economy and opportunities, not just for tourism, but certainly for industry and business. It all has to do with the health of our community.
It does. Without the flights, we would see a lot more things be turned away. You wouldn't see the amount of people coming in for the mines. They all would have to be driving, and that raises costs and prices around town, as well as in shopping and what the mines would have to pay. So they do a lot of donations back to our community. So we want to make sure that we have the opportunities for them to bring in the workers that they need as well.
So that is the 2025 Elko Mining Expo. Find again the details online. We're talking with Annette Kerr, Executive Director of our very own ECBA. And so next on your agenda...
Oh, and another event. One stops and another one starts. So it's our PopCon. This will be our third year. That's our third annual event, and that is Friday, August 8th from noon to 8, and Saturday, August 9th from 11 to 8. We'll have our annual cosplay, which is a costume contest, and it'll take place on Saturday night. And with applications to begin starting July 1, and the grand prize would be $1,500. Up front. So we have all ages too. The little kids don't have to compete against the bigger kids or big adults, if you will. So there's a lot of things for little kids to do. We have a child's room or a children's room if they want to go in, and they can do coloring and play games. We'll have a game room. A lot of the things that we had last year. But what's really exciting is the fact that we'll have some panel sessions and workshops, again, how to make a costume, how to make equipment and things and weapons that you want to do that are safe, if you will, for costumes. But our guests this year are just, our celebrities are phenomenal. If I could talk a little bit about those.
Oh, we would love to hear about that. And also, just to let people know, that Elko's PopCon has this fantastic reputation. These are artists who have now come to you and come to the center to say, you know, we want to be part of this. We've heard nothing but great things.
Exactly. They love Elko. The celebrities love Elko, and that is a tight-knit community. And it's gone around from the very first one. They couldn't believe how friendly the people of Elko are and how respectful the children are. And they were just amazed. And so the word has gotten out, and the celebrities and their managers are now calling us to be a part, which is really nice. So some of the people these are the people that have confirmed with us. And one gentleman is named Chris Hackney. He has voiced characters from Fire Emblem, Hunter x Hunter, K Project, Mega Man 11. So those people who are into that would probably know what that means. Megan Hollingshead, she's best known for the original voice of Pokemon's Nurse Joy, and has been in other animes that around. Jillian Richings, who played Death in Supernatural. So I know there's a lot of Supernatural fans, myself included, out there. Julian was also in the Umbrella Academy, Stephen King's Kingdom Hospital, and Doom Patrol. So he's got quite a following as well. Christopher Gorham in The Lincoln Lawyer. So he played in George and Mandy's First Marriage and Ugly Betty. So he'll be coming. And then Michael Welch, many of you may remember him in Twilight. He also did Joan of Arcadia and Star Trek Insurrection. So he was the young guy that wanted to date Bella a lot, but didn't make out of the two. But yeah, his name is Michael Welch from Twilight. We have Olivia Hack. She played Cindy Brady in the Brady Bunch movies, and voiced characters from Avatar, The Last Airbender, and Hey Arnold and Bratz. So, again, wonderful cast. We have another one is Katie Safari. Annabella Comes Home and So Called the River. And then we have Sean Barrows, who was the author as well as a musician. He has the top 30 for American Idol. He in season 7, and he performed with Imagine Dragons, Lindsay Sterling, and Janet Monet. And then last but not least is Jean Munson, a feature artist who is a cartoonist living in Nevada. And she creates comics and has a podcast. And believe it or not, she teaches art at a high school.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
What a great variety of guests. These are artists, actors, creators, and that they're here not just to share their stardom, but to really inspire people to pursue their own passions.
They do. They'll go up on stage and have different sessions and talk about how they got started, what their career looked like. They open it up for audience to talk to them. You can get up and personal with them and discuss, hey, you know, how did you get started in this? And was it hard? And what would you suggest? And so a lot of good comments and good direction if you want to join in on those panel sessions.
Of course, we're talking about Elko's PopCon, the third annual event, which is coming August 8th and 9th. And there is that, as you mentioned, the huge costume contest. There are 3 categories, too: armor, foam work, sewing and textiles. And then the youth get their own category, too.
That is true.
Yes.
So, and they teach about how to do the textiles and the sewing on what they look for. And so those are good areas to go out and take a look at what they're looking for. And these judges are ones that have traveled all over the world that will be judging.
And they're very nurturing. They're not critical. They're not. Yeah, this is a family-friendly event. Something that is new this year is that you do charge admission.
Right. It's still...
it's reasonable.
It's reasonable. And we've done the food drives and we did school supplies. And this year we are charging... You don't have to pay the admission. We'd like to. It goes to Ruby Mountain Resources. It helps them out as well. And we will be splitting it with us to help some of our costs. But we have a lot more fun things to do. We have boxes that we're doing where they're like just grab boxes, and then we're putting things around town, and there's so much to go through. I would take up your whole hour going through all of it.
Oh, well, you'll just have to come back before August, and then we'll spend the whole show talking about that for sure. But this is the third annual Elko PopCon, hashtag Elko PopCon, August 8th and 9th. And again, we have people coming from all over for this event.
We do. We would like to invite anybody in town or any of the businesses that are doing an event at that time. please let us know and we'll help promote it. We want this to become a community event, not just in a convention center or East Center event. We want people to have, if they want to have a costume contest, these people put a lot of time and money and effort into their costumes. Have a costume contest in your restaurant or in your theater or wherever else that you would like them to just to come by, and we'll promote that. And these people will come down and participate and maybe help expand your business as well.
What a great idea. And there are sponsorships available, gold, silver, and bronze levels.
There are, and people have been submitting money this year to help us offset our costs. There is a cost of putting this on, and we have to pay these celebrities, obviously, to come in. But again, this is a whole new event for our community, to something totally different. And if you've never done a PopCon, you don't have to dress up. You can come and just look at the vendors. They have all kinds of gifts, things that maybe you might want for Christmas a little bit down the line. It's not required to be in a costume, but it's fun to come and see all the different things. And PopCon stands for pop culture. Again, come and look and see if you were into Batman or into Star Wars or you were into Star Trek. There's all kinds of things to look at, as well as Pokemon and different things that people trade cards. And if you just want to come play a game, there's a game room where you get down and sit down and play the old board games. So just have a chance to stop by. We've had people come in from all over the U.S. and now even some people from Canada.
Oh, wow. That's so exciting. Annette's talking about Elko PopCon returning for the third year. And again, if you're looking to connect with some dedicated people with disposable incomes, this is really an opportunity to showcase your brand, become a pivotal part of this going into the future. Again, it's the pop culture scene, and it really covers all eras.
It does, and this is one way, again, we give back to our community. The money is going to go, it's $20 a family, or $5 a person, and that money goes back to our community, which is the Family Resource Center. They didn't need canned goods and they didn't need food this time or school supplies, so they need some help with some cash, and so it is a donation. So we would be very happy if you would, but if you don't want to pay the donation, totally understand. If you can't afford it, please still come.
All right. We'll be talking more about PopCon as the weeks go by, as we're just launching into some summer fun activities. Talking with Annette Kerr, who is our executive director of our ECVA, the Elko Convention Visitors Authority, the newly branded E-Center, and the Elko Conference Center. So there's some excitement in town right now. Tell us about crews that are out and about showcasing our community.
Yeah, so part of our rebranding is we wanted to get some new footage. We saw some footage when I came on board that's probably about 20 years old, so we've changed a lot as a town. So we wanted to highlight a lot of things, especially downtown as well as in our surrounding areas. So we're doing a shoot for the next 3 days. We're doing a commercial and video shoots, and so you'll see film crews downtown. Like for today, we were at the Northeast Nevada Museum, we're at the Western Folklore Center, Cowboy Arts and Gears. We're going to be at J.M. Capriola this afternoon, Ogie Deli, Elko Fly Shop, the California Trail Center. Then we'll be going and filming around the Elko Centennial Tower, Machi's, the Commercial Fun Center, McAdoo's, the Star Hotel. So we wanted to get those businesses involved in our commercials and in our shoot to let people know we have more than just a Home Depot and a Walmart. We have good businesses downtown as well. And then tomorrow we'll be shooting out at the Ruby Lake National Refuge, Jigs Bar, Ruby 360 Lodge, and Lamoille Canyon and Lamoille Grove. And then our final day, we'll be shooting out at the Elko Tower again and at the Halleck Bar. And one of our stories that we're telling is kind of like if you would go back to the Dueling Banjos old and where they start playing, but we're going back to old Elko and new Elko. And we've got some local stars, Jay Dalton and Hunter Osler, that are going to be our older cowboy and our newer cowboy playing guitars, and one will play the acoustic guitar and the other's on an electrical guitar, and they'll start playing and then they'll come together and play the full song. And so that's one of our stories that we're talking about is old Elko and how it's blossomed into new Elko, but you could still get that hometown feel.
Wow, that just gave me goosebumps. What a wonderful presentation. And it's all happening over the next 2 to 3 days right here in our community. And those are materials that will be used to promote Elko throughout the state, the United States, even the world.
Exactly. It'll tag on to a lot of things that we're doing, but it's all part of our rebranding, letting people know that we're fresh, we're here for people to visit, spend their dollars, and enjoy our hospitality.
Certainly. Great ideas. Again, find out more about the things we've been talking about online at exploreelko.com. You work very closely with the Elko Visitors Center, the Elko Area Chamber crew, and their website, elkonevada.com. I think you guys are pretty much neck and neck for visitor traffic.
We are, and we're partnering with the Chamber. We're not in competition, we're partners, and we're collaborating. And we met with Billy with the Chamber. We have one of our new aspects of going forward, if you will, for marketing is to be there for our community and help market. So meeting with Billy, we have a new program that we're working on where anybody who wants to market can put their stuff out there at no charge to them. We're picking up the cost, and it will feature that area, and as well as if you were, for the Chamber, for instance, they're featured on our website, they can click on it, and then it goes to their website, or anything that they want to promote, whether it be the wine walks or the beer festival or whatever the Chamber happens to do, and I'm using them as an example, but that's available for anybody. So we've also reached out to the California Trail Center. So if you have things that you want promoted out there, events, the Basque Festival, the Balloon Festival, just get a hold of us and let us help you.
That is a wonderful extension of our community. I've been reminding people that you offer the electronic billboard, which is new at the e-Center,
Yes.
also free of charge.
Free of charge if they want to get that up there. We have Beats and Bites from the college. That's been up there. Obviously, the plane has been up there. We put graduation up there. So if you have information that you want to share, because those ballpark fields are full.
They
right
are
now.
jammed. I love it.
They
I
are
love
full.
it.
So they get a chance to drive by and see your ad there. But again, no charge to you. We're here for you.
I know. Just a quick side note, I was so happy to hear, and who knows how or when it will come to fruition, but the Elko City Council did vote that if we do proceed with a new city hall, it would be in the current location.
Yeah.
Isn't that fantastic?
It'll be right behind, I believe it
Yes.
was going to be right behind it, and then they were going to use some of the design of that actual building is probably like almost like an area for like
Little
meetings
outdoor
and
space,
little space and
little
things
amphitheater,
like that. Yeah,
so they can
exactly.
preserve the sculpture and
Yeah.
but
There's
continue to be
history there. There's
continue to be
history.
neighbors too. With,
Exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly.
That's quite a beautiful little complex situated there near the museum. It truly is our community center, the e-Center, and then just some of the business as usual stuff. You do have the ECVA's regular meeting. You have a board of directors, as you mentioned. You're an autonomous governmental entity. So how is the budget looking? Because we are hearing, Annette, that some tariffs may have some impacts on certain budgets, especially impacting our nonprofits going forward.
Correct. We basically are a government entity and we are a nonprofit, but we have to follow the same rules as I stated earlier. So we're having our budget hearing for 25-26 on May 27th at 8:30 a.m. For our final budget. But one of the differences for us is that tariffs are affecting us in a little bit with all of the new things that we're doing to update and upgrade the center. But our budget is actually doing very well. We did draw down about $1 million in order to get out of that loan. And so, but we have a healthy $4.5 million budget.
Wow, that's great news. And you have, Annette, you turned that around.
We have. We brought it up quite a bit, and we've been able to continue to increase our budget and maintain what we're doing and how we're doing it. As I tell our board, when it was just the convention center at the time, they had 15 employees. We now have the conference center, and we're doing it with 10. So we're doing more with less.
Certainly. And you're making investments in this public entity, as you talked about, new carpet, new chairs, new signage. But these are things that you couldn't afford just a few years ago.
Correct. So we've been very fiscally responsible in making sure we save enough money. And, I did have predecessors that worked very hard as well. So we're making some progress, and again, hoping things turn around. One thing, though, we're not affected by the sales tax as much as the city and the county, and that is our sales tax, or C-tax as they refer to it, is set. It's not a lot. So, when sales tax goes up and people are receiving, entities are receiving a little more money, yeah, it hurts a little, stings a little. But in times like this, when there's an issue with sales tax, we're set and we're happy the fact that, we know how much we're going to get in our budget.
All right. So that's good to know going forward as well. So again, the center is undergoing a facelift. The budget looks good. You just made your first payment to the county. It's another important note in that ECVA needed to borrow some money to leverage to get out of this bad previous loan, if you will, or financing arrangement. But you're already paying the money back.
We are. We made our first payments back to the county. They were due June 1st, but I went ahead and made them a couple weeks early. And then also our bond payment, we've already made our first bond payment. So that was due June 1st, but we went ahead and made that so that it was in this fiscal year. And we don't have that balloon payment coming up in March of 2026, so which is really exciting. And that's allowing us to continue to put those improvements back into the building and back into the facility.
Wow, that's great leadership, Annette. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Yeah, we really appreciate what you've been able to do for, again, our convention center now in its 50th year, and certainly for beyond, with the success of the events, the activities, the marketing, helping to promote our entire community. I wanted to make sure we got to what was mostly on your list today.
That was pretty much on our list, my list. I wanted to make sure everybody realized that we were out filming, so that's what it's all about, too, is getting that new rebranding out there, and if you are curious of what it's doing, you'll see more and more from us.
Thank you, Annette. Visit exploreelko.com and look forward to the huge event, the Elko Mining Expo. Be patient with your parking. Just plan to take another route if that's your usual route. It's going to be busy, busy, busy that week. But just think of all the dollar signs, all the important impacts to our local community, and then followed by the PopCon and plenty more joyful events to come in between. And then training, as you mentioned, for the mines, because that also is great for our economy. That's employers hiring employees and training them.
Yep. We have the prom this weekend for our Spring Creek High School. We're doing a lot of training. We've got the Department of Conservation's meetings going on. We have the Board of Governors meeting, as I said, but just beware, June is something every day almost, and every weekend in June, especially with the rodeo being moved up into June. So June is going to be packed.
And we'll be talking more about it right here. Thank you so much, Annette, for reminding us.
Thank you, and thank you for having me.
Thanks, listeners, for joining us for Elko Live today, featuring Annette Kerr from the Elko Convention and Visitors Authority. She's our Executive Director, and we appreciate all the good work.